When I stumbled upon the news that Kyrgyzstan has decided to give cold shoulder to Russia's mere bank cards, I was annoyed. Central Asia is not Europe, where USA's word is the law. But when I read about Kyrgyzstan's reasons, my reaction was more of pity.
We will tell you all about it. Before that, if you're a fan of non-corporate monetary news and analysis, you've landed on the right YouTube channel. Okay, let's begin.
Kyrgyzstan's decision to cease accepting Russia's mere bank cards, as announced by the nation's local payment operator, marks a significant move within the Central Asian geopolitical landscape. This development, occurring last week, aligns with actions taken by most Kazakh banks and Armenia's formal secession the previous month. It is noteworthy that Kyrgyzstan, unlike Kazakhstan's Western pivot and Armenia's NATO alignment, does not evidently harbor any antagonistic motives towards Russia. The narrative surrounding Kyrgyzstan's relationship with the United States provides a backdrop to this financial decision. A discourse from last August highlighted claims of Kyrgyzstan being targeted for regime change by the US, primarily based on a letter from the then chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Bob Menendez, to Kyrgyz President Sadyr Japarov. The letter was interpreted as having an ulterior motive to destabilize Japarov's administration, allegedly under the guise of Kyrgyzstan's non-compliance with US sanctions and purported regression in democratic and human rights norms. It must be noted that democracy and human rights are the most potent weapons in the American arsenal and are used when no real reasons exist. Further complicating the bilateral relations, Kyrgyzstan's government has actively sought to counter perceived US interference. 2 months prior, President Japarov openly criticized a letter from US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, which expressed concerns over a proposed law in Kyrgyzstan resembling America's Foreign Agents Registration Act, or FARA. Japarov's staunch defense of his nation's sovereignty amid a history of color revolutions and the quest for stability underscored the tensions between Kyrgyzstan and US policy directives, reflecting a broader narrative of geopolitical maneuvering and resistance to external influence in the region. Kyrgyzstan's stance under President Sadyr Japarov exemplifies the delicate dance between maintaining strategic alliances and navigating imposing pressures of global superpowers. Despite insinuations of unfriendly intentions towards Russia, Kyrgyzstan's cessation of accepting Russia's mere bank cards, propelled by the looming threat of severe sanctions from the US, underscored a nuanced strategy of political resistance coupled with financial acquiescence. Japarov's forthcoming visit to the US, scheduled from April 14th to 20, aims to articulate Kyrgyzstan's inability to sever economic ties with Russia, signaling a reaffirmation of their strategic partnership amidst American skepticism and latent regime change ambitions. Also remember, my country India does everything and more that Kyrgyzstan has been doing. But like a classroom bully, the US goes for the weakest kid in the class. This diplomatic endeavor, albeit potentially undoable against the backdrop of American foreign policy, underscores Kyrgyzstan's commitment to its sovereignty and the importance of Russia as a strategic ally. The development of the southern transport corridor with Russia, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan further cements this alliance, showcasing a collective effort to ensure regional trade continuity in the face of potential disruptions. This initiative, born out of mutual trust and strategic foresight, highlights the interconnectedness of regional politics and the value of diplomatic hedging. Criticism from certain quarters of the alternative media community regarding Kyrgyzstan's decision to discontinue the mere bank card might be premature or even misplaced. This action, while unfortunate, is a pragmatic response to an untenable situation, balancing financial vulnerability with political steadfastness. Kyrgyzstan's approach, characterized by a blend of diplomacy and strategic partnerships, demonstrates a keen awareness of its geopolitical position and a nuanced understanding of the limits and possibilities within the complex web of international relations. The US doesn't just bully its adversaries. In fact, its friends suffer worse fates. Joe Biden literally created the Ukraine mess and kicked Europe into it. 2 years later, Europe is in deep recession while the US has struck gold. Watch this report to know more.